Welcome to Fresh Music Freaks Radio, your online source for upfront music and industry news, music festival, and in-depth interviews. I'm a freak. Are you?
Hello, this is Nadine here with Fresh Music Freaks.
What's up?
I am sitting here with five-time DJ Mag Top 100 winner, Grammy nominee, Mr. ASOT, and Mr. Armada, Armin Van Buuren.
What's up? How
Not
are you?
much. I'm great. How are you?
How are you liking Miami?
I love it.
Yeah?
Every year for the past 5 years,
You've been coming?
Yeah, of course.
You're lucky.
Yes, I love it here. So, obviously, I've named off a few accomplishments that you've had. And I think one of the things that you can credit yourself for those accomplishments is the fact that you keep your sound different in all of your tracks. So, how do you keep it fresh in the studio?
Just by having fun, really. I mean, as much as I am proud of my past successes, I can't really repeat myself in a way. Having said that, I will always be Armin, I'll always be the trance guy, and I love trance, as you know. I'm a really big fan of that sound, but I want to do it different every time. For me, it would be very easy to open the project to like Burn With Desire or In and Out of Love and just, remove all the bass lines and melodies and just, get sort of a similar tune, which I know some of my fans would like. But that would be boring to me. So I guess this is what I found out from myself, is that I have to be that diverse guy to keep it exciting for myself rather than anything. There's no commercial reason for it. There's no other reason for it than just, having fun in the studio. Because I really had a writer's block when I was sort of trying to recreate what fans were expecting me to make. Because I'm a little bit, I've done that, I'm proud of that track, I love it, but I have to move on. So some artists get away with using the same kick drum for 20 years. No disrespect, but that is not exciting to me, and I know this will mean that I take a little bit of more risk, and I'm not expecting people to like all my music equally, because it's not possible. But I think as artists, we are meant here to shock a little bit. So sometimes you'll hear a set that's, you'll think is amazing, and then the other time you'll hear a set and you're like a little bit like, nah, but that's because I'm experimenting. I don't want to repeat myself, because that would be the death of everything, I think.
I completely understand that, and I appreciate the variety myself.
Cool.
So you also are credited for keeping the trance genre alive, you and State of Trance.
Yeah.
So you do actually make a lot of classic sounding tracks, but obviously they don't sound the same as all your old ones, like St. Vitus, Just As You Are.
Yeah.
So what motivates you to create those classic sounding tracks?
I guess because my father was a massive influence to me. He listened to the early trance sounds when it was not called trance. It was like Jean-Michel Jarre, Klaus Schulze, Tangerine Dream. So that melodic sound, with electronically produced melodic sound, all starting with Walter Carlos Switched on Bach, which is basically the starting point of electronic music. He actually gave me the vinyl to that. You have to look it up. It's amazing. You can't find it digitally anymore, but I really recorded it from vinyl to a file because I wanted to have it, because it's such an iconic piece. And I grew up listening to that. So I guess it's in my DNA to have that melodic background. So I think when I'm 70 years old, I swear to God, if I ever make that age, I'll still be making electronic music melodic. Because I feel, for me, what makes trance is the melody, right? So the vocal is great, but it's actually the exception to the rule. Because with house, the groove is the most important, right? With techno, it's probably the beat and the pulsating sounds. But with trance, the core sound is the melody, and there's something about that. I was already making trance when it wasn't called trance. Blue Fear, when I released that in '96. I remember going to the record store and seeing it labeled as house. Like, what? Is this house? So it's trance. It was trance before it was called it. So label it whatever you want, but let's call it melodic music. This is something I'll always want to make because, I get emotional about it, It's in my DNA, Yeah.
So
does it answer your question?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. And I could say the fans get emotional about it too, absolutely. Cool. And speaking of ASOT, you've got the Bay Area show coming up soon.
Yes. Are you coming?
To be decided.
To be decided.
I want to, yes.
Okay, cool.
But it's all up to my work if I get the vacation time off.
Okay.
But that's going to be a monumental show. It's going to be slated as one of the biggest trance shows in the U.S.
Really?
So
Yeah,
tell us about that. Tell us a little bit.
I think it's actually because of the marriage between Insomniac and Alda events as well. You know, I've been building a State of Trance for 18 years, and Insomniac purchased a part of Alda. That's, everybody knows that. So we already been talking about bringing a State of Trance to US for a long time, because the relationship with Pasquale and everybody was a really good one. It's been 7 years since we had the last State of Trance show on US soil. So Bay Area has always been one of the, you know, has the biggest trance following, so it's a logical choice to do it there. And, you know, I would have been happy to do Bill Graham, you know. I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing venue, but Insomnia said, would you be up for doing the Oakland Coliseum? I'm like, what? You think we can sell that out? And they're like, yeah, you know, but of course they're very careful about their business decisions because it's a big risk that they're taking as well. And I said, you know, if you're down, I mean, Utrecht was an immense success. I'm glad nothing happened there. Madrid was an immense success. We had 14,000 sold tickets. And now I think Bay Area has so many fans, a lot of fans from LA flying down. To me, it feels like a good moment to do this. It feels like a good moment in time, and I think the trance scene needs. I think I do it more for the trance scene in general, because I know also, I have to be honest with you, I find the responsibility with State of Trance a little bit of a burden, because I'm so afraid to, because I know the position I'm in, and what you were touching upon. Like, okay, you have this brand with a State of Trance, but it also means, like, I want to support everybody. I'm so careful not stepping on toes, and I want to make it a thing that the State of Trance is not about Armada, just about Armada, or about Armin Van Buuren. State of Trance is about the trance scene. And I miss out on tunes sometimes, and it frustrates me, you know? But I'm human. That's why it's not the State of Trance, it's a State of Trance. I try, if you listen to a State of Trance, you're guaranteed to hear 70 to 80% of the records that matter at that time. And I make that a thing because I've always been strong in supporting trance, but especially now, I know, you know, everybody's looking at me, like, what's Armin playing? And like, it's always so nerve-wracking when I do the show, because I don't want to miss out. I don't want to disappoint producers. I want to bring Drift Moon to showcase his new album, because it's great. I just want to be there to promote the trance, you know? And I want to bring the guys into the studio and let them shine and, you know, build their own careers. And I have no direct interest in promoting Drift Moon, because he's not on my label, he's not on my management, but I think he's a great trance artist, so he deserves that. And I think that is the only way that State of Trance can survive, if the fans see that it's real what we're doing. Yeah. Amen.
You got that. So you've also performed across the globe, clubs, festivals, everything, you name it. Mm-hmm. But have you ever experienced what it's like being on the other side of the rail?
Yes. Well, I was in an Above and Beyond show recently, so I'm a fan. No, if anything, I would love to go more to festivals myself. I was at Awakenings last year. I just went as a fan. I'm a huge techno head. Not a lot of people know this, but I put a cap on and I was just raving to Adam Beyer. I'm a massive Adam Beyer fan. I love it. I love that sound, you know. Having said that, though, as an artist, I embrace the fact that I'm the trance guy. So I will never leave that roots. But, you know, forgive me for having musical tastes that are a little bit wider, you know. And that's also where I get my inspiration from. So, no, I think it's essential. And you know what? Probably my biggest regret that I have of a State of Trance in Utrecht, that I wasn't able to walk last year, I wasn't able to walk around the crowd, which is what I love. Because what you really have to do as an organizer, you have to buy a ticket, you have to go through security, you have to go buy a locker, you have to get your coat, and you have to walk around to actually feel how a person experiences that festival. Because I'm no different than you guys, honestly. I'm not different. I mean, I know I'm the guy that plays the music, but I'm enjoying it just as much as you guys. Honestly, hand on my heart.
That's awesome. And speaking of techno,
yes.
So as you know, I was at your Gaia show during ADE, and we know that got a couple things coming up on that. Can you?
We're finishing the album. It was a very, 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 very experimental thing. I'm going a little bit against the grain with that. I mean, the core sound of Gaia will always be trance/techno, because that's where Benno and I come from.
Yeah.
So there will be no vocal tracks. There will be no collaborations. We just want to keep it two guys with two hoodies on and loops. So what we've actually done, I don't know if you noticed it, we first done the live show and then we did the album. Normally you would be in the studio creating all the tracks, compile them, here's my album, then you go on tour. And we wanted to shake that up and just go like, all right, let's not do that. It's a very slippery slope we're walking on, and it feels exciting because the rules are not set and we want to break them a little bit. So I have no finished Gaia tracks as we speak. I only have like 60 loops and arpeggios and beats and everything, and we're throwing it together live. So we've done the live set I think 4 times without an audience and 1 time with an audience. And those 5 sets were completely different. That's what I love, because it's way more exciting, you know. I mean, playing from a CDJ is obviously great, but it's very safe in a way as well, because you know what you're going to play. With Gaia, there is no way to be safe. And yeah, I need this to fuel my other stuff that I'm doing, you know. I love to do the commercial pop stuff one day, and then the next day do a really obscure Gaia track. And trust me, it happens that on the same day we'll be working on a really, really deep Gaia track and on a pop song. And that's what, for me, I live off that, because it's so, like, it's exciting, you know. One day I'll walk into the studio with Ben and we're like, you know what? Today we're just gonna do a Gaia track. Let's do it. Open it up, and then we're like all the techno stuff, you know. And I think you need to do that, because I don't want to be predictable in a way. If you can have a lot of criticism on me, and I take it to heart. But one thing you can't say, that I'm predictable.
That I'll agree with that.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah. And this is my last question.
Okay.
So you have had a lot of recent tracks that you've released. A couple IDs that I'm excited for. Better play them at ASOT. But Turn It Up, Lonely for You. What else do you have for 2019? What's in store for us?
A lot of really strange collaborations. I'm going to do one with Lucas and Steve, which is obviously more a radio single. I've got a few more underground collaborations coming on. I had made a lot of music in January. I took 2 months off to be with my family. It was great. I really found my mojo in the studio then. Because now I have to take my kids to school every morning. I have to feed them, I have to bathe them, take them to school. So I get back in the studio, back home, 8:45. I'm like, let's make some music. And before, it was just me and my wife. You know, we would get up at 10, have breakfast, then we read the paper, then have lunch at 12. I get in the studio at 3. Basically, your day is done. So it's ironic how now that I'm a dad, I'm more productive than ever, and I feel more free in a way. Obviously, the opinion from the fans still matters a lot to me, because I'm not gonna lie, I read everything, and sometimes it hurts. But I think I also accept the fact now that I am Armin Van Buuren. I'm not above and beyond. I'm not this artist. I have to embrace who I am, and it's exciting as well, because, you know, like the track with Above and Beyond, I think that was one of the greatest things I've done last year. It was so exciting to work with them, and it's also great to see it work, you know, because we were all like, we love this track, but is the crowd gonna love this, you know? And it was exciting, man. And that's what I mean, you know. I think the most important thing that I'm doing right now is I just want to have fun. If I'm not having fun, if I'm not feeling the music anymore, then then I better stop, you know. I don't want to become predictable, even though sometimes it's great to play a predictable track.
Absolutely. So,
Awesome.
Armin, thank you so
Nadine.
much for sitting down with us at Fresh Music Freaks.
There we go.
I can't wait to see you tonight.
Awesome.
And tomorrow. And the next day.
All right, I'll try to mix it up a little bit.
Yes.
A lot of new music, so.
Thank you so much.